for Ensuring Compliance, organized by Center for Audit Quality Directorate, Special Purpose Directorate. As you all are aware that CAQD has come out with several tools and utilities publication for ease of members under vision and guidance of CA Vishal Doshi, Convener CAQD, and CA Shri Priya Kumar, Deputy Convener CAQD. So today's program is focused towards the same, and at this juncture, it is my honor to invite our convener Vishal sir, who is visionary leader and a pillar of strength, who inspire us with his insights and perspectives on each and every initiative. Over to you, Vishal sir, for the welcome address and opening remarks.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. It is with great pleasure that I extend my welcome to each of you to this awareness program organized by the Center for Audit Quality Directorate of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India on optimizing your audits, tools and utilities for ensuring compliance. Today, we will delve into the intricacies of modern auditing practices, exploring innovative tools and utilities that promise to streamline the compliance process and elevate the standards of accountability in our respective practices. We are truly honored to have with us today most distinguished guests in the field of auditing amongst us who have played pivotal roles in shaping the profession and continue to inspire us with their expertise and dedication. Among our esteemed guests, we are privileged to have with us CA Aniket Sunil Talatiji, respected President of ICI, CA Ranjit Kumar Agarwal ji, respected Vice President of ICI, CA Kamlesh Shivji Vikamseji, and CA Amarjit Chopra ji, esteemed past presidents of ICI, CA Shri Priya Kumar ji, my, I would say, support and pillar in this Center for Audit Quality Directorate, CA Karuna Bansali ji, the Secretary of CAQD and the whole team of CAQD. I would just like to share that the Center for Audit Quality was set up in 2020, and it is, I would say, a 3-year-old baby of our institute. And since then, along with my earlier, I would say, convener, CA Durgesh Kabra ji, a lot of work has been put under the Center for Audit Quality, and important milestones have been achieved. The first being coming out with an audit quality maturity model, because quality is a very relative terminology. And to benchmark or to compare one firm with the other, there was the need for a matrix. And this has come out in the form of the audit quality maturity model, which has been made mandatory with effect from 1st of April 2023 for certain practice units. Subsequent to that, we have worked this year on a lot of tools and publications to empower our members to improve and enhance their audit quality. We do regular webinars at least once a month under the series known as the Quality Cafe, and where we have deliberations of 2 hours and panel discussions on various audit aspects and on how to improve the quality. Additionally, we also have a Twitter handle where we tweet on Did You Know series. And so far, we have already come out with 53 such question answer with respect to the audit quality. On the tools and utilities that we have released, it all started in the month of March, being the bank branch audit season, where we converted our ICI guidance note into a utility on the bank branch audit in a simple Excel format as a review and monitoring tool. Subsequent to that, we came out with a utility on determining materiality, because in all audit reports, we talk about the risk of material misstatement, and therefore we came out with this tool for determining materiality. Subsequent to that, we came out with publications on analysis of modified opinions and also a publication on firm manual model referencer. And this firm manual would help firms in starting the whole AQMM process and ensuring that they are able to climb the ladder and reach the highest level of quality. Last but not the least, we have come out with a utility on engagement letters, which is a very interesting tool, which in all these tools and publications, we will have a demonstration of that to highlight and the members on how they can use it and optimize this for their use. So once again, I thank all of you for being present over here on this evening. I know we are all very fast galloping. I was approaching towards the festive season, and to have all of you in such large numbers is really giving us a lot of motivation. So once again, thank you, President Sir, Vice President Sir, past Presidents Kamlesh Bhai and Amarjit Sir, for remaining present, making your presence felt, and motivating us at the CAQD to take the vision and the initiatives of the ICI forward. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your inspirational word and valuable insights. Dear members, our awareness program is officially underway and we have an enlightening journey ahead us. So let's make the most of this opportunity to expand our understanding. And today, I know you all are eagerly waiting for our leadership to hear our special address of Honorable Vice President Ranjit sir. So not taking much time, I would like to invite a thorough academician with a consistent pursuit towards achieving excellence and a technically affluent professional who has been significantly contributing to the cause of the profession. C. Ranjit Kumar Agarwal sir, I would like to invite him for his special address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for the kind words. Very respected our President ICI, Aniket Sunil Talati. We have two very eminent past President of the suit, Kamlesh Vikamse sir and Amarjit Chopra ji, convener of this very important Center for Audit Quality Directorate, Vishal Doshi, Deputy Convener Sripriya Kumar, and all the respected delegates. Thank you very much for joining this very important webinar series on which optimizing your audit tools and utility for ensuring compliance. As far as this directorate is concerned, very important directorate, although we have the Auditing and Assurance Board, AASB is there, which talks about and deal with the auditing standards, but last 3 years, this Center for Audit Quality has been created by the issue to have a more awareness about the quality of the audit, the quality the members has to display while discharging their duty effectively. And if you ask me 3 important words as far as this audit is concerned, and the way the government, the regulators perceive this audit profession, the 3 important aspects is quality, quality, and quality. Without quality, nothing will move in this profession, and that's why the entire trust and the entire onerous task has been on this profession to display and exhibit the utmost sincerity in delivering the quality which is expected from the professional. As we see in the various publication, in disciplinary proceeding also, the financial statement, everywhere, the role and the responsibility to be displayed by the professional like chartered accountant has been immensely significant, and the kind of the growth this country is taking the shape and the kind of expectation of the huge assurance of the data, humongous data being generated in this country, the onerous task of auditors are more and more significant. And if you see the intelligent automation is taking place in this country, the intelligent reporting is also expected from the auditor. I will talk about this intelligent reporting or interconnected reporting or non-attached function or other non-financial reporting which is expected from the chartered accountant. So this institute is taking a lot of steps that how the profession of this quality audit can be ensured and how the role and responsibility our profession is taking for the betterment and the delivery of this quality which is expected from the professional. That is the role this Center for Audit Quality is taking. And I can foresee the kind of reporting is going to be take place, is going to be changed significantly. The duration, the frequency, the quality, everything is going to change in the years to come. So that's why we have to focus on intelligent reporting as the intelligent automation is taking place in this country. So based on the vision of this intelligent reporting, lot of steps we are taking in this institute under the leadership of our President Aniket Talati, and hopefully as the India progress, this institute is also taking many steps where the compliance and the delivery of the audit quality by our professional can be fulfilled, and we can live up to the expectation of the various stakeholders. With this theme in the mind, we are also having this kind of webinar, and I am confident that kind of work this Center for Audit Quality is doing, in addition to the role AASP is doing, as far as standard auditing is concerned, it will be very, very helpful to the members at large. I wish all of you best of luck and happy learning.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable insights, and commitment to this cause is truly commendable, and we are grateful for your leadership. Now we have a man with strong professional ethics, refined thought process, technical expertise, and vision to embrace technology to lead the profession. Yes, he's he's a wonderful person, dynamic personality. Our Honorable President ICIC Aniket Sunil Talati sir would like to invite him for delivering his presidential speech. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Karuna Bansali ji, the Honorable Vice President of the Institute, I think, who has very rightly explained the role of auditors in this era that we live in, Sri Ranjit Kumar Agarwal ji, and who has also been extremely important in ensuring that the Institute, the regulatory functions that we have to undertake as not just a developer of the accounting profession, but importantly as a regulator, it may be through the function of UDIN or other initiatives that has been taken. I'm sure, Ranjit ji, that with you at the helm, these initiatives will keep moving forward. The Honorable past presidents of the Institute, Kamlesh Vikamse ji and Amarjit Chopra ji, two very revered professionals in terms of the audits that they have undertaken, the leadership that they have provided to the Institute, and more importantly, the kind of engagement with membership that they have done over the years to spread awareness about standards, about the importance of documentation. So I'm grateful to both my Honorable past presidents, Kamlesh ji and Chopra ji, for sparing their time and showing the importance of this topic to membership at large. To the convener of this directorate, Vishal Doshi ji, and Deputy Convener Shripriya ji, my heartiest compliments. This year, the 3-year term of CAQ ended. And for our members who may not know, in the council, ASB, AASB, there are some committees where the chairman is appointed for a period of 3 years to provide continuity. And of course, unless the chairman is elevated to the post of vice president, he continues for the 3-year term. Similarly, in CAQ, we had a 3-year term for the convener last time. And this time, when we had to appoint a new convener and deputy convener, two people immediately struck to my mind: Vishal Doshi ji, who is the vice chairman of AASP, and somebody who has been very active in the audit profession, and Shripriya Kumar ji, again, very actively involved in the audit profession, but also having a understanding of technology, how it can be blended in the day-to-day work of chartered accountants. I've been following some of our updates of how you can become smarter in your practice as a chartered accountant by using Excel and other tools. And I think, therefore, when I was thinking of the right people to have this directorate, Vishal Doshi ji and Shripriya ji came to my mind. And let me tell you that as we sit in November, I'm delighted with the work that both of you have done in the Center of Audit Quality this year. And my heartiest compliments to both of you, along with the Office of CAQ. Honorable past President, sir, and all the members who are tuning into today's session. As an institute, of course, we play multiple roles. We are an educator. In fact, today as we speak, the November exams are going on. 4.5 lakh students will be appearing for the intermediate final and then foundation examination in December. This is probably going to be one of the biggest exams Institute has conducted in the past few years. So we are an educator par excellence. We have an examination system which is envied by the world. We are, of course, a facilitator, and this is a role which is unique to the Institute. Chopra sir and Kamlesh ji both can bear me out that if you go internationally to any institute, the role of majority institutes is restricted to giving a professional qualification, and then the expectation of the members from the institute and of the institute from the members is that You are in the ocean. We have taught you the skills to swim, and you must find your ways. But I'm extremely proud that 70 presidents before me and 24 councils prior to ours have very importantly balanced the role of being a facilitator also, so that we create opportunities for chartered accountants. So yes, an educator, a facilitator, but very, very importantly, I personally believe one role which is extremely important for our profession is that of being a regulator. And that is true for the entire council. And therefore, the Center of Audit Quality, when it's completing 3 years and doing this 4th year of its activity, let me tell you that as a profession, we have been very clear in terms of what the councils and also other regulators' expectations from audits is. We've had a very robust mechanism of FRRB, where we test compliances of our members in terms of accounting standards, auditing standards, reporting requirements under the Companies Act, CARO, pronouncements of the institute, guidance notes, and all of the literature which is mandatorily applicable to our members while conducting audit. And we test them on that parameter through FRRB for maybe 100 odd cases every year. But a need was always felt within the institute that we may have the best literature available. We have a guidance note on bank audit, for example, but how do members actually put that in practice? We have had the concept of materiality for decades now, but how does a regular practitioner who's sitting in Ahmedabad, in Agartala, or in Ambala, how does he calculate materiality? And these were questions that always got asked of one whenever you traveled. And therefore, it was very keen interest of all of us in the council. And through the Center of Audit Quality, I am delighted that today we have a utility for determining materiality which our practitioners can use. Because as the Vice President said, there are only 3 words which are important: quality, quality, quality. I would also just hasten to add that in today's world, audit not documented is in fact as good as audit not done, because it is not important for you to only do the audit. It is, I would say, equally, if not more important, for you to document it and be able to demonstrate to a third party that you have performed a good quality audit. And how do you do that is through world-class quality documentation. And for that purpose, a utility for materiality was developed by the Center of Audit Quality, which combines the principles which are given in our auditing standards. At the same time, it provides you an Excel utility where you put in numbers and you can calculate the materiality. Similarly, the guidance note on bank branch audit, which was always available in the form of a book or as a PDF, was always available to membership. But the entire guidance note being put into Excel, so that a step-by-step expectation of the institute, of the PDC, of the AASP from a bank audit can be put across, and every member can test his work of bank branch audit by using that utility was brought forward. I think one very, very important aspect which this Center of Audit Quality also did is came out with a firm manual. All of us who are into practice know about SQC1 and have always talked about it. But the largest question which always came to one's mind was, how do you implement SQC1 for a proprietor in a small town, small city, or even in large cities? How do you make sure that the expectation of an SQC1 can actually be demonstrated when your work is being tested by a third party in the form of peer review or maybe other reviews which the institute, NFRA, or other regulators may do? And I think now you have a model referencer which the CAQ has come up with, where the expectation of the firm manual, what should be the contents of it, has now clearly been demonstrated. They also did an analysis of modified opinions, so that tomorrow, if you are conducting an audit and you have a situation where the client is not in compliance with certain set of standards, how do I modify the report? Do I give a qualified opinion? Do I give an adverse opinion? Do I give a disclaimer of opinion? Is an EOM or an emphasis of matter paragraph sufficient, or does it merit a qualification? And what is the industry practice and what is the language and verbiage being used by other auditors? Because you can A, learn from yourself, from literature, and B, we can learn from each other. And I think the best form of learning generally happens from each other. And therefore, this publication on modified opinions is wonderful. And I would encourage all practitioners, whenever you come across situations where you need to qualify or amend your audit report, refer to this very important document where you will find reference. Again, in life, everything cannot be copy-paste. So do not just copy-paste, but yes, you can use that as a referencer for you to draft your modifications in audit report. And similarly, As I spoke about the firm manual, which is in compliance with SQC requirements, I think extremely important along with the materiality template are engagement letters. Being presiding two disciplinary committees for the last 2 years, and I think both our honorable past presidents will concur. So many times when we hear cases and we ask the member who's here, and the vice president also chairing two benches will agree to this. When we ask the chartered accountant, where is the engagement letter? You are saying you are only supposed to do so much. The client has today complained to the institute and said you are supposed to do so much. Can you show us the engagement letter and where the terms have been clearly laid out? And the answer most of the time is, sir, salo se client tha, he was for years, and therefore I took up the assignment on his oral confirmation. And therefore, I think very important in today's age, when you have so much regulatory oversight, that every engagement that you undertake must have an engagement letter. Today, if you go to a law office, if you go to any other professional without a contract or an engagement, you will not be able to get professional work. Similarly, I think it is high time members realized, and as the president, I think it is my onerous duty to amplify this and underline this, that we must ensure that for every engagement that you do, and therefore every invoice that your firm makes, a corresponding engagement letter must be there on file. And the challenges which membership was facing, how do you draft an engagement letter for a tax audit? How do you draft an engagement letter for a private limited company's audit? How do you draft engagement letter for a company in which IFC is applicable? All these scenarios were beautifully worked out by the Center of Audit Quality, and they have now launched a utility on engagement letters, where simply all your clients' namings can be done. You put their names, you put the categorization of whether it's a public company, private company, partnership firm, LLP, and what is the applicable provisions, if it's a company, IFC would be there or not. And based on that, automatically by a single click of a button, Word templates get generated, which you can use for engagement letters. Of course, like I said, in life, we should restrict copy-paste, because when you do copy-paste all the time, you may end up using a March 23 audit report for a March 24 year ending, which is not a pleasant sight to do. And therefore, one must always review the templates which come out. But you will now have all these come with suitable disclaimers, of course, but what is important is we now have a starting point as practitioners to develop materiality, to create a firm manual, or to come up with engagement letters. So my request and urge to all membership, and I repeat myself, underline, underscore, and amplify the point that in today's world where regulatory oversight by all bodies, including ICI, is being increased, it is imperative that audit is documented and is able to be demonstrated that you have done your work. Because it is important that as the faith and the trust that has been reposed on us, and especially in this year when we are celebrating our 75th year of this great profession, and we are calling it 75 years of trust or 75 saal Vishwas ke, we must ensure that this trust, which not just the government and agencies and regulators, but people at large have reposed on the profession of chartered accountancy, we repay it back in full in terms of the quality of work that we do. And that can be done if we demonstrate it accurately. And therefore, I am delighted with all the kind of work this year the Center of Audit Quality has been able to deliver. It may be starting with the bank branch audit utility, going on today to what you have in terms of the materiality template, as well as the template for engagement letters. And you have analysis of modified opinions and a firm manual. Two important documents that I would also like to touch upon are publications of the AASB. And these, I'm sure Vishal Bhai can touch upon as the vice chairman of the board, are also very important publications which we came out this year with. One is with regards to the checklist for Sanjeev Singhal as the chairman of AASB for coming out with this very important publication, and a very important publication in the form of templates of work papers. Today, if one is auditing property, plant, equipment, cash and cash equivalents, what is the kind of work paper that is expected out of one? That expectation has been given in these templates of AASB. So if you look at the entire process today in this 1 year, starting from your engagement letter, your firm manual, which is to be maintained, materiality, which has to be determined, audit, it has to be done documented through checklists, work papers which have to be maintained and their templates, and digitalized and provided to membership. I think the literature was always there. What has now been done by CAQ is make it available in an easy to use format. As the saying goes, my dear friends, you can only bring the camel to the well. Similarly, as a profession, as an institute, we can have the world best standards, audit standards, which are in comparison with the international audit standards, our documentation standards, which are also internationally benchmarked. We have additionally gone one step ahead, and thanks to the CAQ, by giving templates for all these tools, and thanks to AASP for giving templates of work papers and checklists. Now, finally, as practitioners, and I include myself, it's for us to take that dip and sip and ensure that we are taking the compliance forward. Therefore, I am once again urging and requesting all membership, let us take the process of documentation extremely seriously. We live in a very changed world. The institute and the profession realizes it. This year, we mandated for the first time, and both the honorable past presidents will be delighted to note, KYM for our members. Sir, know your membership was done. Though we had so many requests, the council, I'm delighted, and I thank all the council members, stood firm that we will not relax this and we will make it mandatory. We extended the period by only 1 month, and somewhere around 18,000 members have not been able to pay the fees and complete KYM, which is in fact in line or below average of the previous year's average. These are the number of members which do not renew their membership, have gone to industry, have gone elsewhere, and some of them have deceased. But rest, all of them have provided their accurate KYM details. And what this has ensured is that our firm data which we have in terms of the addresses, in terms of the branches, and in terms of the proprietary concerns have been tested. And therefore, yes, a lot of branches have been closed, a lot of proprietary concerns. People realize that I would have opened it in past, but I'm not aware that that COP had created a entity, and now those proprietary concerns have also been closed down. So huge, massive exercise is being carried out at the institute to clean data and to have the right kind of regulatory data available with us, which will enable high quality peer reviews, high quality FRRB reviews also. Finally, I can only say that this is a very important change which has come in our profession. We have increased responsibility and increased, I would say, trust that everybody would like to place on the work of chartered accountants. Audits have to go deeper, and more importantly, have to be able to demonstrate at any given point of time the quality of work that the engagement team has done. I'm delighted that AASP and CAQ are doing this activity. My heartiest compliments once again to Vishal Doshi ji and Shipriya Kumar ji, along with the office of CAQ, for coming out with these wonderful tools. And my folded hand request to all members who are tuning in, please let's try and utilize the entire gambit of tools which are available. And my request to both our honorable past presidents, Kamlesh Vikamse ji and Chopra ji, whenever you get an opportunity, since you engage with membership also in such a large number, please, sir, try and spread the word about all these tools that we have created so that the common practitioner, the sole proprietor, can get benefit of these tools, and we can have some standardization in terms of the audits that all of us as professionals perform. Once again, thank you very much to all of you for patiently hearing, and I hope that these tools and all of the activities can be spread across the country, and the quality of audit and the quality of audit documentation can be raised to the next level. Jai Hind, Jai ICI.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. Your expertise will greatly benefit our members and inspire them to utilize advanced tools and utilities to ensure compliance while optimizing their audit processes. Now, I would like to invite CA Shri Priya Kumar ma'am, Deputy Convener, who has always been available to guide us and motivate us. We are looking forward to hearing from her for presenting a vote of thanks. Shri Priya ma'am.
Thank you. On behalf of the Center for Audit Quality, I take great pleasure and a total privilege of being here with 3 presidents and 1 to-be president, or maybe even 2 to-be presidents. So thank you very much to these gentlemen of exemplary professional standing who are here today. Before I do the short vote of thanks, I just thought I'd take a minute. I think audit finally is all about 3 things. 1 is this priceless quality of independence. the fact that you stay independent of the audit and you're able to take a call. 2, an even more priceless quality of the ability to say no when the situation demands. I think the last couple of months I've appreciated more than ever how autonomy and authority comes with responsibility, and what kind of responsibility an auditor bears, and why an auditor is expected to be at the cutting edge of trust and integrity. I think the third most important leg for an audit to stand on is technical content. I think there's been a huge change in the regulatory landscape of the country. We're getting, directions and notifications almost every day, including directions which are changing the contours of our profession. Today, I got a very nice mail from PDC telling me that only more than one partner will be regarded as a branch for C&AG purposes, and not one partner branches may not really be construed as branches. So I think this entire profession is also going through a significant and a dramatic change, also fueled additionally by a co-regulator, and I'd like to call them co-regulator, called NAFRA. So I think in this context, what's very important is, and I must place on record my sincerest appreciation to Shri Vishal Doshi. The kind of passion with which he leads the CAQ is unimaginable. And I say this very, very honestly and with a lot of pride and to be with him. I think right at the beginning, we decided, now everybody knows what to do. There are standards on auditing. There's a performance materiality that I have to follow. I need to issue engagement letters. But somehow we've become this seeing generation rather than the reading generation. So Vishal Bhai and I, more Vishal Bhai and less me, decided we'll tell people how to do things. So, and as the president rightly observed, the horse can be taken to the water, but look at what ICI does. We first write a standard, and for that standard, we write an implementation, and then we write one more technical guide, and then we give you all the checklists in Word, and then we give it to you in Excel, and then there is Vishal Bhai and me trying to do a tool for you. So my humblest request, along with this vote of thanks, is kindly use these tools and templates. And if you believe that, and Vishal Bhai will also update you, we've got plenty of thousands of downloads. If you think there are things that we can improve, please reach back to us at caq@ica.in. And with these words, I'd like to place on record my sincerest thanks and appreciation to a very young leader we have, Shri Aniket Talati ji and Shri Ranjit Agarwal ji, for having been here today. And I think their being here today means a lot for the kind of importance I think this webinar holds, not for us, but for the entire profession. And thank you very much once again for being here today. I have a slight connectivity issue, so might be off video. We've had a huge power cut in Chennai, so kindly bear with me. Thank you, but I'm there for the program entire.
Thank you, Sri Priyaji. President sir, just an update which I forgot to mention, that as you mentioned about the AASB publications, the recent one, sir, on the standards on audit compliance checklist. So the whole checklist from the CAQD, we've already converted that into Excel, and we have released the review and monitoring tool on the standards on auditing compliance. And we are also now, like you have guided and suggested, we are working on the working paper templates also to make that more user friendly. Thank you, President sir. Thank you, Vice President sir, for your presence, sir. It is a great motivation for us.
Thank you. I'll continue on for some time so that I can hear both past presidents till I can. Thank you.
Yeah, Karuna ji, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Now it's my privilege to introduce our honorable past president, sir. So we are going towards our next step, and we have a very learned past president, sir, Kamlesh Vikamse sir and Amarjit Chopra sir. So Kamlesh Vikamse sir has been the president of ICI for the year 2005-06. He has also been the president of Co-Federation of Asian and Pacific Accountants for the year 2007-09. Presently, he is the chairperson of Independent Management Advisory Committee, IMAC, of International Telecommunication Union, Geneva, Switzerland. He is also a member of the Audit Oversight Committee of World Intellectual Property Organization. He is a member of Oversight Advisory Committee of United Nations Population Fund, New York. He He is also member of Audit Committee of World Meteorological Organization, Geneva. He is also public trustee of LIC Golden Jubilee Foundation, a charitable trust established by LIC. So I can say that we have very, very learned and eminent speakers as a guest speaker, and after hearing them, we'll be having good knowledge and how about the auditing subject and how to inculcate and how to use the tools and technology, and we can what should I say? We can we can enhance, uplift the quality of audit. So without any delay, I would like to introduce Amarjit Chopra sir also. He is a highly acclaimed chartered accountant for 35 years. Chopra sir was the president of ICI during 2010-11. He chaired several important committees that dealt with auditing and accounting standard, corporate governance, banking at national level with IFEC, CAPA and SAFA at the international level. Banking, finance and insurance sector interested him immensely, which could be evidenced by his nomination as independent director to the Indian Bank, member of the SEBI Security and Exchange Board Committee on Disclosure and Accounting Standards, board member of the Insurance Regulatory Authority of India and member Audit Committee of the RBI. Besides, he is also nominated as independent director to several other companies in private and public sector. Sir has contributed significantly to the professional development of the auditing and accounting discipline in India over the years. So, with these words, I welcome both the past presidents, sir, and I would like to invite Kamlesh Vikamse up, sir, for the topic deliberate on significance of the monitoring quality compliance with standards on auditing and use of engagement letters in audit. Over to you, sir.
So thank you, Karuna, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, CA Vishal, CA Sripriya, my esteemed friend, colleague, Amarjit ji. Thank you very much, Vishal, for inviting us in this important webinar on Center for Audit Quality. I think the Institute has done extremely well. You know, we were setting standards, we was putting out guidance notes, you know, and a lot of literature on auditing. But this is the first time, I think, in the last 3 years, that we are walking the talk. What is important is that you give all the literature, by all means, but at the same time, if at the leadership level, at the ICI level, if you make things more simpler and in a more effective way, when a member, a practitioner like me, who is doing audit of an entity, to pick up those tools and apply all the auditing standards which are there as far as the audit is. Now, I think a lot has been said by Vishal, by Honorable Vice President and President on, you know, audit quality. But let me go into what is audit, what do we as members do, and what is our contribution to the nation as far as the audit is concerned. And let's look at the macro picture. The macro picture is you have listed company, you have banks, you have regulated entities, insurance companies, large, huge entities. Then you have mid-tier entities, you know, the small and medium enterprises who are doing businesses across the country. You have NGOs who are running, you know, a lot of charitable organizations. You have government sector who's, of course, you know, spending a lot of money, etc. The audit of the government sector is as per the Constitution of India, done by the Controller Auditor General of India. But as far as the other sectors are concerned, it is only and only the members of the ICA, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, who have been given the power to do an audit. And what is the importance of audit? I mean, I distinctly remember my father, who again was a member of the Institute, ICA. In my early days of articleship, when I used to do my articleship and when I used to do audit, he used to explain that the signature of an auditor is more important then the President of India's signature when he enacts a law. And these are the words of the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he came on the Institute platform in 2017. He exactly echoed this in that forum. And why is it so? I mean, please look at the macro picture again, as I said, about the financial statements. What is the use of the financial statements? How are they used by the society, by the regulators, by the tax gatherers, by different section of the society, investors, joint venturers, and so many different, by the labor for bonuses, etc. Now, a high quality financial statements is the core of the economy, is the backbone of the economy. You have regulators regulating the entire, aspects of audit. But when it comes to an audit practitioner, he carries the responsibility of seeing that all the accounting standards which have been made mandatory are being followed meticulously by the entity. He also sees to it that he carries out his audit in accordance with the standards of auditing, which lay down, if I may use the word, Lakshman Rekha as far as the audit is concerned. So extremely important that we understand our contribution to the listed companies, the shareholders, in tax gathering, the tax departments, be it bonus, the regulators, be it electricity. For example, the electricity regulator uses financial statements. All the regulators use financial insurance. When they make policies, when they do, so many things, everybody uses financial statements. Now, most important that these are of high quality. And I believe, President Sir, I believe that our members are discharging their functions in accordance with the standards laid down. What was lacking was the document, as you very rightly said, the documentation of the work done by that particular auditor. Now, again, I remember my good old days when there were no computers. There were only typewriters and all. When I used to, do an audit, we used to have even the books of accounts physical, not on the computers. And when I used to go to, my father was the senior most partner, and I used to report to him as an article clerk. Now, why I'm narrating all this is because it's important to understand what is the importance of audit. He would take the financial statements and put his finger on 3-4 items. He says, please explain me 1, 2, 3, 4. And mind you, those were the most critical things, which were there in that audit. So all that I'm trying to say is that from time immemorial, the members of the institute have been discharging their functions in accordance with the auditing standards which have been laid down. What was lacking was that if it comes to providing evidence as to what kind of work, what kind of tests, what kind of procedures the auditor has carried out, was where there was a lacking in terms of documentation. As you rightly said, in disciplinary matters, when things came before us, we used to ask for working papers. And sorry to say that the working papers were not, in accordance with the standards which are required. And I'm not criticizing any member for that matter. I mean, I can vouch for even my firm, the way it has evolved. Things were not that, scientific as much as were required. But over a period of time, we have been refining and we've been making it more and more in a manner which is in accordance with the standards of auditing. And also, please realize that the technology has advanced so much. There's so much of digitization in every sector, for that matter, be it regulated sector, heavily regulated sector like the banking, insurance and others, but even small and medium enterprises. The kind of absorption of technology, digitization, which one sees today, it is extremely important that we as auditors also, and that is what the point which Vice President raised, that we as auditors also step up and see to it that we also harness and use technology in a manner where we apply the auditing standards which have been laid down by the institute in a manner which are very effective. And there comes the play of what Vishal and Shripriya and the entire CA Center for Audit Quality team is doing. Walk the talk, as I said. Now, how do you apply these standards? One may give a theoretical, beautiful standards, beautiful books, guidance notes, etc. But how do you apply it on the ground and make the best use of the digitized resources in a manner which is really handy as far as the members are concerned? And that's what I think the dream of Vishal, as you said, President Sir, I really compliment him, that, trying to put yourself on the ground, wearing the shoes of a member who's actually into the field and auditing, to see that how effectively he or she carries out the audit in a manner which is in consonance with the entire auditing standards. He or she does not forget anything. Number one. And number two, documents the same at the same time to create evidence in the hands of the auditor, so that when a time arises and if anybody, asks for the working papers, one is able to satisfy, as to what kind of sampling which the auditors had taken, why that particular sample, what kind of materiality, as you rightly said, President Sir, what kind of materiality is being used, how the materiality was worked out, and the complete set of auditing standards, how they've been applied, and nothing has been, falling out of cracks, if I may use that word, as far as the entire financial statements are concerned, be it assets, liabilities, income or expense, whatever one is auditing. And coupled with that brings me to the engagement letter. Most important, again, President Sir, as you rightly said, that again, most of us were not, very strictly following this engagement letter. And not only in auditing, I would request the members that not only in auditing, but even in any other service you are rendering, be it tax service, be it advisory, be it any service, please use engagement letters very, very carefully. That defines your scope, and it also gives disclaimers as well, because you must set in disclaimers as well, because today the liability of an auditor is so humongous because of the legislation and because of the consumer court cases, etc. Extremely important that we as auditors must protect ourselves as to what is the scope of work, what we have done, as well as articulate what the limitations are and what the scope, what would be the penalty in case things go wrong. These are extremely important, and I'm happy that a tool has been created, which is an automated tool, which would give a guidance, or which would prepare at least a large part of the engagement letter. And as you rightly said, President, that please don't copy paste, but use your own judgment to modify the entire engagement letter in a manner which is fit to your own engagement. And so therefore I would compliment Vishal, and I would just leave finally with a piece of advice that please continue this good work, because at a ground level, me as member would like to see that what kind of tools the institute is developing, so that I'm able to discharge my duties as an auditor and fulfill all the standards, guidance notes, etc., which are being published by the institute. So extremely happy to be here today in this very important seminar. And I look forward to the presentation and the walk-in through you are going to do for the tools. Very important, and good lesson for me as well. Thank you very much. And before I conclude, I would wish all of you a very, very happy Diwali, you and your family, joyous new Samvat year, and may you all prosper. Thank you very much. Back to you, Karuna.
Thank you, Kamlesh sir. Now I would like to request Amarjit Chopra sir for his words of wisdom on importance of determining materiality in audit and role of firm manual in CA office. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Karuna, and thanks to the President, Vice President, of course, Vishal Doshi ji and Sri Priya. Of course, I must say that my senior president, Kamlesh Vikamse ji, whom I reckon as one of the best professionals around, very frankly, and the kind of laurels that he has brought to the profession at the international level, I think these are unmatchable so far as I can see around. The topic has been very, very dear to one's heart, very frankly, because whenever we talk of the materiality, we have been talking it more theoretically, if you really ask me. And people most of the time view materiality in terms of the absolute numbers rather than percentages. In any company, if there is an error of say 10 lakh rupees, 50 lakh rupees, 1 crore, and that would vary from individual to individual. If I can start looking at our professionals, some professionals would say that even 10 lakh error is huge. Someone would say even 1 crore is insufficient. I still remember Mr. Mahendra Khanna ji telling in one of the bank audit seminars that when he was doing the audit of a particular currency chest in a bank, he was told by the Reserve Bank of India that anything less than about 1 crore or 5 crore is not to be even treated as an error, basically, because you can't count all the currency in a currency chest. So materiality has been the hallmark of the accounting, auditing. Some or the other, it has not got the attention, the kind of attention that it should have got. I'm so happy for Center of Audit Quality, Vishal Doshi ji, Sri Priya ji, and others, of course, the instrumental, the people who drive basically are the president and the vice president, that they have come up with some tools. Now, we all talk of the overall materiality, we all talk of the performance materiality, we talk of the other specific materialities. I think the tool provides that indication. There's no doubt about it. The benchmarks have been given. How to really look at it, that has been given. But my only worry, which I think the president himself has talked of, cut, copy and paste, and I think Kamlesh ji has also talked of, if I have given a range of 5 to 10% and everybody starts taking a range of 5 to 10%, I think that's going to be the main problem. Vishalji, we definitely need to bring out somewhere or the other that if you are starting an audit for the first time, suppose the auditor has been changed or you are auditing any entity for the first time, then your maturity levels have to be fixed at a lower level. Then it cannot be that the same percentages to the revenue or to the expenses should apply. That's the way I look at it. See, once I have audited a particular entity and I'm satisfied with its internal control systems, with its working, and I find that IFCR, etc., is working absolutely fine, I may be able to enhance my materiality levels. There's no doubt about it. But the moment I am starting a particular audit, I think my overall materiality level should also be lower in that particular case. And if that is lower, the performance materiality will automatically be lower. There's no doubt about it. So there could be circumstance where an auditor has resigned. I will give another instance for that matter. Where an auditor has resigned and I'm taking up an audit, I think my materiality level has to be very, very low. Why it should be high and why it should be 5 to 10% in that particular case of the revenue? I personally feel in certain cases which have happened in the recent past and where the auditors have resigned and the way the auditors have resigned, basically. I don't want even to talk of certain instances. My worry is that some of the firms are jumping at every opportunity where an auditor has resigned. And then the reports come very fast without any qualifications or only drawing the attention. To me, whether the materiality levels as these have been looked at in those cases are really appropriate or inappropriate. That's the basic question to me. somewhere or the other, I think our utility tools should be able to take care of those kind of situations. Because to me, there are two things which are very, very important. Number one, where I'm undertaking the audit for the first time, either for the normal change of the auditor, or say I'm auditing an entity for the first time, I've been appointed just now as an auditor. In that case, my maturity level cannot be the same as it would be when I have continued as an auditor in the organization, say for a period of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, etc. Because there my experience will tell me which is the particular item on which I need to focus more. I can tell you, suppose there is an entity in which the income is derived purely and purely out of you incur an expense, add a percentage of that, and it is happening in a large number of, I can say, foreign offices in India, that you incur certain expenditure and your entire reimbursement from the head office comes and your entire revenue is based upon a particular margin. Now, in that case, to me, revenue is not very important. I don't think that you have to be guided by the percentage of the revenue. In that particular case, you should be guided more by the percentage of the expenses, for that matter. In certain instances, it might happen that a company is a startup or a company is in infancy stage, it is still under construction. In that case, or where the assets have been built up more, the significance of asset is more, the revenue right now has not started. In that case, revenue cannot be the criteria basically, or even expenses may not be the criteria. In that case, asset could be the criteria basically as a percentage of that. Because when I determine the overall maturity level, in that case, should I go to the revenue? Should I go to expense? Should I go to the asset? Should I go to the equity? It will all depend upon the various factors which a particular entity is subjected to. I'm very happy that Karuna circulated something, and that really takes care of many, many points, basically. It talks of the volume, the turnover, the profitability, the functioning of an enterprise. And I think maturity would definitely depend upon that. To me, one of the very important factors could be, and this is the guidance that I want from the institute to the members at large, that suppose the profitability of an entity jumps up or the revenue jumps up in a particular year, whereas for the last 4 or 5 years it has been stagnant or it has been at a particular level. I think the maturity level in that case could be absolutely different from what it has been in the earlier years, because his checking has to be more based upon those factors. Or having sat on the disciplinary committee for almost 7 years, basically 2 years as president and vice president, 1 year as disciplinary committee member, and then 4 years as the government nominee, I can tell you that it is a very sorry state of affairs sometimes you are faced with. When you talk of the maturity, people only talk in the terms of the numbers, absolute numbers. They have no documentation with regard to how the overall maturity has been determined, or how the performance maturity has been determined, or how the other operating maturity has been determined. Somewhere or the other, I think your utility definitely takes care of it to a very large extent. You have given examples, you have given ranges. One of the very good factors that I find is that you have given the expectations of the users of the financial statements. That if probably you are using 0.5% as the maturity level, then what is the expectation or what is the tolerance level of a particular reader of the financial statement? In that case, he says that you can say my tolerance level is very good. There is no doubt about it. If you are using maturity level at say 0.5% of the revenue, or 1% of the revenue, or 2% of the revenue, probably his tolerance level could be pretty high. But if you are using say 10% as of the revenue as your maturity level, his tolerance level could be very, very low. And those examples which you have given, those ranges that you have given, are absolutely fabulous. And I'm very, very happy with those examples, with whatever you have done. My only request would be that certain tailor-made situations, which I've talked of, very frankly, because that's my worry. In fact, today, with the kind of spate of resignations taking place, because wherever these resignations are taking place in listed entities, I find, to my mind, ultimately the super regulator may come into play. And when the super regulator will come into play, they may look at all those documents, basically. And if the firms are found wanting, probably again the profession gets a bad name for no reason or rhyme. So, to my mind, this is something that we need to look at. The other thing which has been asked to me to speak about is with regard to the significance of the manual in a firm. I think this cannot be underscored under any circumstances. If you don't have the audit manual, you do not even define the independence of an auditor. How do you do that? You do not even give the guidance with regard to the engagement letter. I think Kamleshji talked of it, the president talked of it, and I can dare say that having sat in the disciplinary committee, engagement letter was missing virtually in all the cases. And every time that you talk to particularly the tax auditor, he would say, "Ki main to 10 saal se iska tax audit kar hi raha tha, sir. I never thought that it is important even to have an appointment letter, forget about the engagement letter." So those are the kind of cases that we have been faced with. So probably somewhere or the other, the manual will define what is the independence of the auditor, what is the need of the engagement letter, even where you are being appointed in place of somebody because his term is over, then even the significance of the communication with the previous auditor would be very, very relevant. So the manual will also determine as to how the materiality level is to be determined. It will not only talk about that, it may talk about so many other things basically. It may talk about SQC1, and SQC1, who will be the engagement partner, what should be his qualifications, and who will be the reviewing partner, what will be his qualifications. I think in one of the cases by the super regulator recently, they have only gone by this, that what was the experience of the reviewer. If the engagement partner is more qualified compared to the review partner, how do you really look at that kind of a situation? So the audit manual, whatever manual the firm has, it should define what kind of assignments will be done by whom, what kind of audit work will be undertaken by whom. Now, vouching has lost its significance, if you really ask me. The sampling itself has undergone a change, tremendous change. And suppose now it is all based upon the IT now. Probably the entire universe becomes a sample now, if you really permit me to say so. So who will be undertaking that? And how that sample has to be picked up? All this should be defined by the audit manual itself. So to me, I think the more important will be the policies and the procedures to be laid down in the audit manual. And ultimately, when it comes for the review, the reviewing partner will see whether there have been any instances of deviations from whatever policies or procedures have been laid down. Suppose it has been laid down that in a particular assignment, 2 chartered accountants will be deputed for specific audit purposes or specific operating areas, and only one has been actually put in. Or what kind of qualified people will be put in? Suppose there is an audit of an IT company, and your audit manual itself says that some expert has to be definitely undergoing it, undertaking this assignment. And if you have not done it, probably someone has to look at it. So audit manual, to my mind, will be a very, very important factor, and the firm should have it. I understand one thing very clearly, that for small firms, it is not an easy job to maintain an audit manual. But we have to start inculcating, we have to start propagating on all forums that probably with the kind of change in the regulatory environment and with the particularly advent of the super regulator, certain things will have to be imbibed by all the auditing firms. We cannot continue to what we have been doing in the past. The change is a must. Even internationally, I think the things have undergone a change, and we have also to undergo a change. under all circumstances. I think I will like to stop here with the word that if at all you have the audit manual, it will increase the efficiency, it will increase the effectiveness, it will increase the commitment to the audit quality and the professionalism within the firm for that matter. And it is desirable to enhance the reputation of the firm, enhance the reputation of the profession, and to give an impression to the government, give an impression to the various authorities that the profession is here as one of the partners in the national building. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would again request Shri Priya ma'am, Deputy Convener CAQD, to present vote of thanks.
Immensely thankful, sir, to Kamlesh ji and Amarjit ji for being here today. And I think, again, it imparts a lot of seriousness to what we are doing. The most important thing is, I think, upskilling today. And ICI is also examining how to make our CPEs more effective. Should there be outcome assessments? Can we make these small quizzes? How do we get members more excited about learning? And today the writing on the wall is very clear, sir. Whether you're doing one audit or 25 audits, you must read all your standards on auditing. And the recent spate of NAFRA orders, whether it is on Coffee Day or whether it's on DHFL, the SEBI order on Brightcom, I mean, all these are fairly seminal in us wanting to understand what we should and should not do. So thank you once again very, very much, sir, and truly delighted, honored, and privileged to have you here.
But before you leave, Sri Priya, I think I forgot to wish everyone a very, very happy Diwali. I can only say the other lamp should actually do away with all darkness that we have around in many, many aspects, basically. Audit, I'm not talking of. I'm talking in the entire social environment, whatever darkness we have, it must go off. And that's what one can pray for, what can one can wish for. And let this light of the other lamps spread all kind of happiness, prosperity in the lives of all the members and the society members at large. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kamlesh bhai. Thank you, Amarjit, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So now we are moving towards our part 2, that is live demo on all the tools and utilities launched by CAQD and publication released by CAQD. So for this session, I would like to invite again C. Vishal Doshi, sir, Convener CAQD, for his opening remarks.
Thank you, Karunaji. Well, friends, we move on to part 2. So after listening from the respected President, sir, Vice President, sir, and our respected past presidents, Kamlesh bhai and Amarjit ji, what we thought is that in this session, because when we released the utility on the engagement letter and even earlier on the materiality, we had received a lot of requests on, guiding members on how to use it, because we are very happy that we have had thousands of download. In fact, I think more than 6,000 to 7,000 downloads on the respective utility, each of the utilities, I would say. And looking into the need of the hour, we thought that let us have this and have a demonstration, a live demonstration. And for this, who better than the ones who have created these tools, utilities, and publications? And therefore, we thought that let the team members of the CAQD themselves, who have been involved in the whole process of developing these tools and utilities, and let me tell you, friends, these publications, tools, utilities, each of them would not have taken less than 1 to 1.5 months before they were released before you. They went through a lot of quality checks also, for which I would like to thank all the co-opted members and the special invitees and the experts who helped us and guided us and reviewed at regular intervals all these tools and utilities and publications. So we would have our team members, CA Himanshi Garg, who would be demonstrating the use of the utility on determining materiality, followed by a live demo by Ms. Pratibha Chamoli, on review and monitoring tool on standards on auditing compliance and utility on bank branch audit. Thereafter, we would have a presentation by CA Nidhi Rajput on publication on analysis of modified opinion and also on the publication on firm manual model reference. And finally, a live demo would be done by CA Karuna Bansali, Secretary CAQD on utility on engagement letters. I would at this point in time also mention the name of CA Apurva Chanwadkar, who is a team member, but because of some prior commitments has not been able to remain present. And let me tell you, friends, this is the team who would now be sharing the stage, who have been working day and night to ensure that we are able to give these utilities. And wherever you are, I would request you to please, and I would also add the name of CA Tapas Ruparelia and Ms. Komal Mistry, who were instrumental in the utility on the engagement letter. And wherever you are, friends, I would just request you to please applaud them for their efforts that they have done, by which we are able to bring these important tools, utilities, and publications to you. With this, Karunaji, I would request you to please take charge of the demo sessions.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request CA Himanshi Garg to present on the utility for determining materiality. Himanshi is our CAQD team member, and sir has already been introduced us. So without taking much time, Himanshi, over to you for presenting on utility on determining materiality.
Good evening, members. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to present utilities, tools, and publication released by CAQD. As introduced by Karuna ma'am, I will present utility for determining materiality, released for ease of members to determine and document materiality. As well explained by our Honorable Past President, sir, the objective of an auditor is to provide reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatements. Auditor needs to comply with the standards on auditing to complete the audit in an effective and efficient manner. Determining materiality is a key concept of the provisions of its standards on auditing. Quantification of materiality is a very relative term, and it depends upon professional judgment. Like rupees 10,000 may be material for a client having a turnover of rupees 1 lakh, but it may not be material for a client having a turnover of rupees 10 crores. Now, I will walk you through the utility so that maximum benefits can be availed from it. Let's begin. This is the cover sheet. The next sheet is guidance sheet. The guidance sheet is given to explain the concept of materiality in brief, like need for determining materiality, when the materiality should be determined. It is determined at the planning stage also and during the course of audit also. Revising materiality as the audit progresses, types of materiality to be determined, that is overall materiality, performance materiality. How the auditor will determine materiality. Auditor needs to state the materiality in audit report, and the same has been explained here. Some key definitions like total equity, net asset value, total revenue, materiality, and performance materiality has been given. The link for SA 320, materiality in planning and performing an audit, SA 450, evaluation of misstatements identified during the audit, and implementation guide to planning and performing an audit is given for quick reference. Now we will move to the next sheet, that is steps. This sheet is given to briefly explain the steps involved in determining materiality. Step 1, assessing the risk of material misstatement. Step 2, choosing the appropriate benchmark. Step 3, determining a level, usually a percentage of this benchmark. Fourth and the last step is documenting the choice with proper justification. Here we have explained each of the steps in a very brief and effective manner so that we can get a quick reference before calculating materiality. And here also the link for SA 320 and 450 and the implementation has been given. Now we'll move to the most interesting part of this utility, that is calculating materiality. We need to fulfill these details first of all, name of the entity. Suppose I fill ABC and company. Financial year 23-24. Materiality stage. We need to whether it is on a planning stage or it is a revised materiality. I am choosing planning stage. Type of engagement, we have given drop down, statutory audit, limited review, special purpose. I am choosing statutory audit. Now we have to give who has prepared it and who has reviewed it and the date on which it has been determined. Before actually calculating materiality, we need to assess the risk of material misstatements. Therefore, we have given 27 checkpoints where we can assess the risk of material misstatements. Alongside these checklists, we have given level of risk. For example, if it is a new engagement, then we'll select high risk and we can give a weight range from 8 to 10. Second, if it is a startup entity, then it might be on medium risk and the range here is 4 to 7. We can choose any weight according to our professional judgment. If we have a doubt on integrity of management, it might be a high risk. So again, I'll choose high from the drop down and I will weight it from a scale 8 to 10, 10. In case there is no ongoing investigation, then we can choose from a drop down NA and we can weight it 0. If there is effectiveness of internal audit function, we can level it as low risk and we can weight it on the scale of 1 to 3, like I'm weighting it 3. Once we have done all the checkpoints, all the 27 checkpoints, our overall risk will be calculated as a percentage automatically. But we need to define the percentage over here, define overall risk of material misstatement according to our firm policies. Suppose I'm filling out 35% and 65%. Since it falls from under the range of 35 to 65, it is a medium risk. Now we'll calculate materiality. For calculating materiality, we need to select type of entity. We have given drop down here like startup, newly established, profit oriented, not for profit oriented, debt finance, liquidity, entities executing public utility project program, or volatility in profit. Suppose I select startup, newly established. I'm not required to select anything in a column C and benchmark will be automatically shown. Now I need to fulfill the turnover in the amount column. Now I have to choose percentage over here. Since it was a medium risk, I'll choose from the range of 0.7 to 0.8. Our overall materiality has been calculated. We can document the rationale for selecting the percentage in H column. That is, document rationale for selecting percentage. Now for calculating performance materiality, we need to give percentage range from 50 to 90%. I'm mentioning 75%. Our performance materiality has been automatically calculated. Clearly trivial threshold ranges from 0 to 5%, and again we need to give percentage according to our judgment, 5% suppose, and it has been calculated. In case you need to calculate specific performance materiality, you can calculate as per your audit, and I'll explain what is specific performance materiality. You can refer note 3. Auditor can choose a number that is lower than performance materiality in case he wants to test more items in an account balance group of accounts if he is of the view that more coverage is required. Further, in case where the account balances contain scattered small balances, selecting performance materiality will be more useful. Now we'll move to the last sheet of this utility, which give a brief picture of likely errors, known errors, and materiality determined, performance materiality determined. And here the auditor needs to mention known errors himself. Suppose, and likely errors. Materiality determined and performance materiality determined from the last sheet will automatically be reflected in this sheet. If the auditor concludes that the financial statements as a whole are not free from material misstatements, he needs to modify his opinion. In case you have any doubts and query about this utility, or you have any feedback, you can reach us at caq@ici.in. Thank you. Mute kar do bas. Mute kar.
Himanshi. I would just like to share that some of the significant features of this utility are that it calculates the overall materiality for assurance engagements based on the level of risk assessed, categorization of the risk assessment parameters as low, medium, or high risk. And there is also a field which is NA, not applicable. So like in the example that Himanshi was mentioning, that is it a new engagement. So if it is not a new engagement, so you also have the option of NA, not applicable. If it is not a startup, you also have an option of not applicable, and you can put not applicable in all those things, all those, I would say, parameters. And that would also, when you are overall calculating the materiality, those weightages would get removed and it would only calculate on the balance. Then there are different benchmarks for different types of entities as per the guidance given under the SAP 320. There is a flexibility for choosing the percentage to be applied to the benchmark. Again, like Chopra sir was mentioning in his remarks, that as a CAQ or ICI, we cannot fix a particular percentage or a particular benchmark. And therefore, this flexibility as to required under the standard has been given. And in fact, even at the overall risk of material misstatement, that which Himanshi mentioned, that high, medium, and low. If you see, when you download the utility, it might have a 0 to 35%, 35 to 60, and 60 to 100. But firm to firm and client to client also, you have the, I would say, option to change that risk of material misstatement range that is given that. So that flexibility is inbuilt in the Excel file. You can also revise the materiality level as the audit progresses. So you have as the initial, whether it is the planning materiality or the revised materiality, mapping the impact of the material misstatement on the opinion. So based on the materiality that has been calculated in the calculation sheet, you have the evaluation of the material misstatement that have been identified during the audit. A separate sheet is there where you can link that and determine whether what impact it would have on the conclusion and your audit opinion. And finally, this file you can definitely print the Excel sheets, which would help in documenting the materiality as the utility is in a printable version. So this is with respect to the tool on materiality. And so in case you have any questions, any suggestions, you can write to us. I would request Karunaji to please let us continue with the next demo.
Thank you, sir. In fact, we are receiving query also for download link and other one. At the end, when I will be covering engagement letter utility, I'll be taking you through the CAQD website and will show you how we can download and how we can use it. That I'll be covering in mine. So now we are moving towards our next tool and utility, that is review and monitoring tool on standard on auditing compliance and utility on bank branch audit. Those are both are very, very important tools and utilities. So for this, I'm inviting CA Pratibha Chamoli, CAQD team member, to present. Over to you, Pratibha.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Good evening to all of you and everyone. I'm grateful for this opportunity being given to me. So not wasting much of your time, let's start with these two utilities. First one is the review and monitoring tool for standards on auditing compliance. And the basic fundamental, and it is the basic concept of this utility, or we can see the main objective of this utility is the documentation, right? It is beneficial for all the members as it is helpful in complying with the standards on auditing. In this, we have mentioned here the objective sheet, as you can see here. Afterwards, the basically point of the team sheet has been given. Now, this is the engagement team details. First of all, I will let you know that the whole concept of delivering this is that whatever we are doing, we can document it because it is the most important part for the auditor. So afterwards, we have given here the engagement team details, name of the firm. Here you can fill the details like name of the firm, name of client, type of engagement, location, and financial year. So basically, this is the audit team, and like here I am writing Raj. See, if you are a proprietorship firm, you can mention there. If you are a partnership firm, you can mention there as a partner. I'm taking Raj as the partner. Then I am taking Soumya. Afterwards, I am mentioning here partner, right? Now here we have given the days columns, like whoever is being involved in the audit process, and like Raj is comments for the 4 days of audit. So you can simply mention 4 days given to the Raj. So I'm mentioning here 4. Then for Soumya, if you want to give 5 days or 6 days, you can give it accordingly, and you can just mention and enter this sheet. So I'm mentioning here 5. Again, we have given here all the dummy names. Now, this sheet is being linked to the dashboard at the end of the session, and at the end of this review monitoring to show you this thing, that how, right? And for these designations, we have provided here partner, proprietor, manager, qualified assistant, semi-qualified assistant, other assistant, and the things. So let's see here. If I came to this sheet. Now, beyond this, we have given here the indicative goal sheets. And this is, first of all, very fruitful for all the auditors, right? This sheet will help you out in knowing the crux of the essay provisions. And if you see here, we have broadly given here the 62 goals. See, they are 62 broad goals. These goals can be helpful in delivering a fair and accurate representation of the audit report. Now, this is the final stroke. You can say this is the final dashboard. Here, you can fill all the necessary details, name of the firm, client, engagement, location, financial year. After this, we have provided here the essay sheets. If you see here, respective all essays are being covered here, right? And like if we just see in this essay 200. So in the essay 200, we have given here 32 checks. See, total checks column is there. For respective all the essays, different checks are there. Along with these things, we have provided here 6 drop downs: yet to be started, not applicable, work in progress, query raised, adverse, this completed, no adverse comment, completed but with adverse comment. Now, the question I think striking in your mind or in my mind, that how it works, right? Because it is the most important thing. Now, see, for example, let us say we are working in this as a 200. This is overall objective of the auditor. You can see all the particulars. Now, just see how, let us say an example that half of the work has been completed by the auditor or the individual is being working in it. Half of the work has been done. So now, how we can mention here, which will depict in the dashboard. See, we have here provided the drop downs, which have been interlinked with the dashboard. We can simply press here work in progress, right? And after this work in progress, this will depict in the dashboard. See, work in progress 1 and the accumulated percentage here is given 3%. So whatever we will be doing in the sheets which are being interlinked with the dashboard, it will depict. Now just see, one more thing. If in case there are some queries, in case there are some issues, then whether this will be changed, yes, it is possible. Now see, if the auditor is facing some issue and so the work is not completed, then at that scenario, we will raise query raised. We will mention here query raised. And this will automatically change in the dashboard. Now for going back to the dashboard, you can either go by here. We have provided here the hyperlink, or you can simply click here. So I'm clicking here. Now let's see. Earlier we have provided work in progress 0, if you remember. Now work in progress was 1 and accumulated percentage was 3%. But now the status has been changed. So this is all about. See, not applicable is 0. Work in progress is again 0 because we have entered query. So it is depicting now the status has been changed 1 and percentage is 3%. Beyond this, just see here. In the earlier, you see, I have told you in that between when I was describing about the team sheet that all the sheets are interlinked. Now see, if it is prepared by Raj, you remember I have mentioned the Raj? Yes. So at what date it is being prepared, we can simply write here like 11, 3rd, 23. And it is reviewed by whom? Soumya. We can simply select here Soumya. And date of the review, like we can mention after these things, 15/3/23. So whatever is being done in the internal sheets, it is being recorded. Beyond this, if you can see, we have provided here the convenient links of the essays like standards on auditing. All these essay links are there along with the implementation guide reference. Now, if you have any doubt, you can just enter, or you can just with the single click, you can open. See, that particular essay list, the PDF has been opened. So now if you want to cross check anything, any doubt is in your mind, you can cross check with these ethical requirements. If you want to check, you can write, you can check here, professional skepticism, professional judgment, everything.
And if I may interrupt here, see, we've also put in one column for indicative goals.
Yes. Ma'am, beyond this, before this dashboard sheet, here, let's see, here is the indicative goals, ma'am.
So what we have tried to do is basically to also try and tell you in just two lines per standard, what are the indicative goals. So one advantage is you are required to perform audit as per the standard, but more than one standard could call for a particular goal. So that's the advantage here. See, ultimately, it's some kind of, I'm doing something, and what I'm doing is there in standard 1, standard 4, standard 10. But why I'm doing this, we have compiled it in terms of the indicative goals. So that is something you might find useful.
Yeah, thanks, ma'am. So as said by our Cypriya ma'am, that these indicative goals are so much beneficial for the auditors. So these were the indicative goals. Thank you, ma'am, for this thing. Now, as we were here in the dashboard, another question is there striking in my mind, that in the particular essays, if you check, we have provided certain checks. Like, see, there are 32 checks in essay 200, right? Now, if you want to conduct another one, so whether it will also be recorded in the dashboard? So yes, the answer is yes, it is absolutely, it can be recorded. You can simply enter here 33, fill the details, and this will change the status of the dashboard. Now see, if we see the status, total checks previously were 32 and now they are 33. The most amazing thing about this utility is also that it is in the printable form. If I want to print this, so I can simply give a print command, and you can see here the print preview page. So it is such an amazing thing. Beyond this, there are several essay checklists, if you will see. And basically, the main fundamental principle for developing these utility is for the easy documentation. Because I think for an auditor or for every member, it is very important to document, like whatever we are doing is to document, is the basic concept. So after this, like just this one, we have another developed utility on the bank branch audit utility.
I would just like to take a minute more on this.
Sure, ma'am.
So the most important thing is, please don't get scared or psyched by this. Now, while it might look very elaborate, some of these standards which are here may not apply for you. So that is one thing. Many steps in the standards may not be applicable for you. And I actually did a very honest assessment of how long this would take. I think it's possible to do it in anywhere between 8 to maximum of 16 hours in an audit. 8 to 16 man hours. That's all. And honestly, if you're looking at the NAFRA orders, etc., this is very, very important. And the other interesting thing is, by the time you finish one audit doing this, your staff, it will start getting ingrained that you'll have to do this. So for you, it would just be a question of answering the question. You would have done most of it. If you have not done something, then you can perform that particular procedure.
Yeah. Thanks, ma'am, for this short brief and enhancing your words. Now, just like this utility, we have another utility which was developed for bank branch audit. And this was basically to help the bank procedures and to help the members in conducting the bank branch audit with respect to all the audit procedures, right? And documenting the same. First of all, it automates the several routine tasks also. Now, as per the times, we can see this, that here we have provided the engagement team details. Just like the previous utility, here all sheets are also interlinked with the dashboard. Just it was for the bank's perspective. Here, like if I entered one, and here you can write the name, like I am taking Ram. So you can mention here Ram. Now for this, for the bank's perspective, we have given here the designation such as partner, like Ram may be a qualified paid assistant, he can be audit assistant, he can be article trainee or any other. So as per your firm's designation, you can simply select, like if I'm taking Ram as an audit assistant, I'm selecting this. Now again, you can give the days, whatever he wants to take for the audit, like 4 days. Beyond this, we have given here the bank officials designations such as branch manager, loans officer, deposit officer, and others officer. Here you can mention the name. Here you can provide the grade scale, and here contact details will be provided. So this is the engagement team details. Afterwards, here is the SA compliance list where all the SAs are being there highlighted, if you see here. And we have given here the comments and remarks column. Like if you want to suggest anything, if you want to comment anything, like if you are doing some documentation work and you thought that no, I just wanted to write this on this particular essay, or if you read like professional skepticism and you think that no, another audit thing is coming in my mind. So you can simply comment here. That's why we have given this column also, right? Now, just like the previous utility, here is also a dashboard. It is very interesting. You can mention here the name of the firm, name of the bank, name of the branch, zonal head, branch code, and the financial year. Now, these all sheets like cash and balances and all these sheets, if you see here, all 31 sheets here are being interlinked. Again, we have provided here the 6 drop downs. If you see, yet to be started, not applicable, work in progress, query raised, completed but with no adverse comment, completed but with adverse comment. So if you want to change anything, you can change the status. It will depict in the dashboard. Just for a quick review for the cash sheet, if you see, here we have provided, let's see, 20 checks, right? Again, if I want to enter anything else, you can mention here 21. You can fill the necessary details here. You can refer to the guidance note also. And if I am changing the status, like if I am changing that, check if the bank balance as per actual cash on hand reconcile with debut. Like, for example, it is not applicable, right? So you can simply select not applicable. And now, which I have mentioned 2 things, right? Not applicable status, and another one I have changed is 21. So this will depict in the dashboard. See, in the dashboard, I will show you. See, total checks previously were 20 and now they are 21. Not applicable, which we changed the status this time, it is being depicted here. Now, along with this, we have provided balances with RBI, SBI, other banks, money at call at short notice, investment, advances, and all other sheets which are related to the bank audit procedures. These are being interlinked to the dashboard. And basically, these sheets are being plotted in the reference to the various guidance note and audit of the banks which are issued by the AASP, and the technical guide. It is basically all in the one Excel sheet. So basically the predefined checklist also and all other factors are there for the better management, for the better audit, and for the better efficiency. So this two utilities were developed by the Center for Audit Quality Directorate, and I'm once again thankful for providing me such a delightful opportunity for explaining this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Pratibha. That was an excellent presentation. So just I would like to share a couple of things on this utilities. So both the utilities on the standards on audit as well as the bank branch audit. One is that this was developed for monitoring of audits also. So what can happen is that when we do the bank branch audit, there are multiple branches that are being where the audits are being conducted at the same time. As well as when we talk of the statutory audits, there are multiple audits which are going on. So what can happen is that for each client or each branch, this file can be kept on a shared folder, and whatever the team is doing the work at these respective locations, they can keep on updating on this monitoring tool, this Excel file, so that even sitting in the office or at a remote location, the partner or the principal can just review the status of the audits or the processes that have been done so far or which are pending, where there are queries, where there are qualifications, and so this becomes a very important monitoring tool also of the activities which are done. And another important aspect which I would like to additionally highlight is that these files are hyperlinked. So within the file itself also, from one sheet to the dashboard, from dashboard to another sheet, that can be moved just by a single click, as well as the technical literature also has been hyperlinked in the standards on audit files. So this would make navigation and use of this tool important. And definitely what Sri Priya ji mentioned about having the indicative goals again each line item, so that the purpose of doing a particular activity as required by the standards on audit and also documenting that becomes important, and the audit becomes an interesting and enjoyable process, filling up this whole sheet and file, and compliance becomes easier. So once again, thank you, Pratibha, for your inputs on this utility.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Pratibha, for taking you through this review and monitoring tool on standards on auditing, compliance, and utility on bank branch audit. Now, I would like to invite our team member, CA Nidhi Rajput, for presenting on the publication analysis of modified opinion and farm manual, a model referencer. Nidhi, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Karna ma'am. Now, I will be taking you through two of the publications of the CAQD that were released very recently.
He's gone on mute.
Mute, you are mute.
The publications we will be discussing are the analysis of modified opinions, which is basically a compilation of audit modifications, and the second one is the firm manual, which is a model referencer. About is the analysis of modified opinions. This is the cover page of the analysis of modified opinions. Now, about the analysis of modified opinions. It is a compilation of audit modifications contained in the audit reports for the financial year ended 31st March 2022. It aims at educating readers on various subject matters of modifications that have been bucketed into various heads for the purpose of analysis in this publication. It exhibits how modified opinions are generally presented in audit reports released by various practice units, and it can be used as a ready referencer for auditors who are facing similar issues. Now, our team at CAQD has analyzed audit reports of 4,261 companies that are listed on the Bombay Stock Exchange. The content in this analysis of modified opinions is laid out in tables following the industry-wise classification to make the presentation more comprehensive. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of how this industry-wise classification has been done in the book. This is our cover page. I'll take you straight to the contents. These are the contents. Now you'll see that this industry-wise classification has been done in an alphabetical order so that it is easy to navigate through the contents. So for example, say if I am the auditor of a company that belongs to the civil construction industry over here, it's on page number 42. Now I don't have to scroll all the way to page number 42. All I have to do is click on civil construction and it's all hyperlinked. So I'll directly reach on page number 42 here. It's that convenient to use. So here I can see how these bases for disclaimer of opinion are framed and use it as a reference. Similarly, we have listed out various instances of similar modifications. Along with this basis of opinion, we've also given the management response for review. You can go through this and it will make a very interesting read for the auditors. One more thing I'd like to show is the buckets. In the second point of my presentation, I talked about the broad heads that we've created. So what happened was, while carrying out this analysis, we figured that these modifications could be classified into various heads. These are the heads, say Ind AS 36, Ind AS 37. For example, Ind AS 36 is the impairment of assets. You'll see here we've broken down, later on we've broken it down into various other heads. Assets not impaired is 15%, impairment testing not carried out is 60%. Now we've given the percentages as well, say 9% is, Ind AS 36 forms 9% of the total modifications and 65 modifications are reported under Ind AS 36. We've given various pie charts and bar charts to make this analysis even more interesting and easy to comprehend. You can go through it. It will make a very interesting read for anyone who reads it. This was all about the analysis of modifications. Now, the next publication I will be talking about is the Firm Manual Model Referencer. This is our cover page. So the Firm Manual Model Referencer, it is prepared on the basis of SQC1 at a practice unit level. It aids firms in framing a set of policies which can be modified to suit their requirements as per the size and structure of the firm. It enables a practice unit to enhance their AQMM scores. Now, AQMM stands for Audit Quality Maturity Model, as we all know. We can, through this firm manual, we can improve our scoring in the sections of operation and human resources. Implementing the contents of this manual would enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of operations of the firm. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of this firm manual as well. This is our cover page. We'll go to the contents. These are the contents. Now, these contents are all composed along the lines of SQC1. I'll give you a brief by filling it out. So it's all hyperlinked as well, just like the analysis of modified opinions. All I have to do is click on firm's profile and I'll reach on page number 3 to go through the firm's profile. I'll fill it out to give you an overview. Say here we'll put the name of the firm, say ABC and Company. Here we'll put the year in which the firm was established, say 2020. With its headquarters, here we'll name the place where the headquarters is located, say Delhi. And branches at here we'll list out the locations where the branches are located. And here we'll put the FRN or MRN of the firm. Now later on here we'll list out all the services that are being offered by the firm to its clients. Now I'll show you one more head that we can fill out. We'll go to the contents page. I'll show you human resources. Now in human resources, you can see we have given the office timings here, say 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Saturday can be the same timing, or it can be a holiday in some firms as well. Later on, we have the dress codes, staff welfare policy, leave policy, trainings, training monitoring. It is very important for a firm to maintain a firm manual in its records, and for the employees to be able to access it. And the best part of this firm manual is that we've made it available in the form of a Word file as well. So all you have to do is download it, and you can customize it as per your requirement, as per your individual firm requirement. I am confident that this firm manual model referential will be very, very helpful to you in your journey towards an improved audit quality. Thank you. This was all about the publications released by the CAQD. You can find these publications at CAQ's page at ici.org, and you can follow us on Twitter, on X, formerly known as Twitter, to connect with us and to get regular updates on the publications, tools, and utilities released by the CAQD. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I hope. Thank you, Nidhi. Yeah. So I believe there's two important publications that we have released. So first was on the modified opinions compilation in the auditor's report for the year ended March 22. And this was released in the month of July, August, so that members to take benefit in the audit season. And one of the objective was to aim at educating the readers on various subject matters of modifications, and also exhibits how modified opinions are generally presented in the audit reports that are issued by various practice units. On the model form manual, the model referential, again, this was released to aid firms in framing the set of policies which can be modified to suit the requirements as per the structure and size. So we have also uploaded along with the PDF file, a Word file on our CAQ website, so that firms can, practice units can download that and modify to as per their policies or practices that are prevalent in their firms. This is prepared on the basis of the requirements of the SQC1 at a practice unit level, and it enables a practice unit to enhance their AQMM, that is the audit quality maturity model scores, in the areas of operations and human resources. Srivilaji, would you like to add anything further to this?
No, Vishal Bhai, I think you summarized very well. We can, and if members have any queries, they can write to us, or more importantly, any suggestions. If you feel you want tools on certain things, then you can write to us. We'll be even more happy to develop it for you, and maybe we'll even consider circulating a survey or something.
Right, sure. Now we come to the last demo, which would be by our secretary, CAQD, CA Karuna Bansaliji, on the utility on engagement letters. Over to you, Karunaji.
Thank you, sir. That's it. So as I told you that I'll be taking you through the ICI website and how to fill the form, and we'll get our form download. So first we have our Center for Audit Quality Directorate, and here whatever achievements we have done, whatever tools and utilities we have launched, the publications we had come out are given over here. So I am clicking on download utility on engagement letter, but I have received a query for this essay review and monitoring tool. So member can simply click on the same and fill the form, and they can get it download. So I am downloading utility on engagement letter. Here we have form. So you can simply fill the form. and write your membership number. It's very easy to download. It will take fraction of seconds of yours. This is our CAQD number. So we have submitted it. A link is there and we just need to click on the same. And after launch of this utility, we have received many queries from the members that they are not able to download. That's why I'm showing the process how to get it downloaded. So what members are doing, they are clicking on the utility on engagement letters, and we have 3 folders. One is for individual, one is for audit partnership firm, and one is for proprietorship firm. So the mistakes they are committing is they are clicking on utility on engagement letters, and those 3 zip folders are there and they're clicking on that. So since they have shared screenshot, that's why I am telling you. So we just need to go on this download button and it can simply be downloaded, right? And this is a zip folder. And in this zip folder, if we go to, we need to unzip it. And then in this, each folder, we have instruction sheet. Individually, for individual, we have given that proprietor and partnership. Almost all the instructions are common for the Excel sheet. So we have 5 templates. That is for tax audit form number 3CA, tax audit form number 3CB, then for listed company, unlisted company with IFC, and unlisted company without IFC. And you know, it's very easy. In fraction of seconds, you just fill the details in Excel sheet and your engagement letter will be generated. Not only single letter. In fact, if you fill the 50 rows at one point of time only, it's single click, 50 engagement letter will also be generated. So it's very, very easy to comply with engagement and quality control standards. And members, this engagement letter is prepared keeping in view SA 210 compliance, guidance note on IFC and other literature. And we have also taken insights from industry practicing members and other experts. And all those are being incorporated in the same. So we have given standard templates. But one thing you need to remember that before using this Excel sheet, you must be... one second. You will find that macros are not enabled. So for that, one thing we need to do is we need to go on properties. Zip folder. First, we need to unzip the folders. So we have unzipped the folder, and when we are clicking, like we are in partnership firm or LLP, we have gone to EL template partnership. In properties, when we'll be clicking, we'll be having this unblock button. We need to unblock it, right? So after unblocking, so this is our engagement letter template utility. We can go to instructions. Instructions are given over here. And we need to read the instructions carefully, that to run the utility without error, we need to enable the macro and trust center settings, because sometimes it may happen that after clicking on unblock button in the properties, utilities, Excel sheet is not working. Then you need to go on option trust center settings. You need to go for trust center settings, and here you need to enable the macro settings. So once you will enable these settings, you will be able to use the Excel file. Fine. So one thing you need to take care that you will not rename the folder's name. You will not rename the template, this Word file's name while using this engagement letter utility. Please ensure that no Word file is open. All the Word and Excel files are unzipped in the same folder, and do not rename. And Utility will generate separate folders for each financial year and for each, like if we are using for tax audit form number 3CA. So for tax audit form number 3CA, if we are using for, we are entering details for 22, 23 or 23, 24, 24, 25. So separate folders will be there and we can use the same. So for generation of EL, it is very, very important to comply with the basic instructions and steps to enable macros and related troubleshooting, which are given with the screenshots. So with the help of these screenshots, you can best utilize. So for generation of, for EL generating, it is very, very important that we are filling the master data. Master data is very, very important because if we go to directly form number, tax audit form 3CA, tax audit form 3CB or listed company, unlisted company with IFC or without IFC, we fill the details, but when we will try to generate the EL, it will not be generated because main master data is very, very important. Here a drop down menu is given where you can click on the year you want to choose, name of the firm, suppose we can write ABC Limited, firm registration number we can write. Then we'll go to main for which we need engagement letter. So in this utility, we have feature like add new row. We can add rows as per our requirement. And we can select for whichever engagement letter, whichever client we want to generate engagement letter, we need to select or deselect. You can simply manually also write Y. So because only those ELs will be generated against which Y has been mentioned in the column. So when we talk of date of signing of engagement letter, so one problem members are facing is that they are not aware that what is the system setting. So when we are entering the date of signing of engagement letter, like I am writing 24th April 2023, right? So in some of the system, the setting is not as DDMMYYY, it is MMDDYYYY. So you need to ensure that date setting is as DD, you need to insert the detail in the format DDMMYYYY. Then only it will take, otherwise it will show error. So an appointment letter date will be same date or it will be prior to the date of signing of engagement letter. So we can give here. So if you will be mentioning after the, like 24th April I have mentioned, if you will give 25th April, it will not take, it will show error, right? So you can see enter date in proper format and ensure the appointment letter date is before the engagement letter date. So we need to ensure that appointment letter date will be either same or prior to the date of signing of engagement letter, right? So here I am mentioning 20th April. To whom we need to address, right? So if we are filling the details for listed company, it will be board of director, right? So in this, we can write client name. Remember one thing, if you are filling the details for client and if you want to update it, so you need to update here only and Word files are closed, so that EL automatically be upgraded with the recent details, modified details, updated details. Here I am filling dummy lines only. Salutation, you can write either sir, madam, because dear word is already being there. You need to take one thing into consideration, that in the template engagement letter, which I'll be taking after this Excel format, is in highlighted version, right? Some of the words are highlighted, maybe pink or green. So you please keep it, please ensure that you have not those highlighted words. Highlighted part you need not, you will not modify. Otherwise, it will not generate the engagement letter in proper format. So we can simply write Mr. R or Mr. or we can write Madam or Sir. Then for fee, name of signing engagement letter. So after filling the details, we can simply click on the generate EL. And EL is generated in the folder, right? So you can see here we have a folder, namely 2324, because we have filled the detail in the main file as 2324. And in this, we have another folder that is tax audit form 3CA and client name was client 1. You can see that the date we have filled is April 24, to whom we have addressed board of directors, client 1. We have address lines. So here also it's being automatically coming tax audit of client 1 for the previous year 23-24 and assessment year 24-25. And other details are also being updated over here, like client 1 is coming here. Then this ABC Limited, who is the chartered accountant firm, firm registration number is also being updated. Then we have client 1 name is there. We have this to whom we are addressing the date. Sorry. Date is already being updated. Then we refer to your letter dated April 2023. So these fields are updated. So while preparing these engagement letter template, we have taken care to incorporate scope of work, what is the auditor's responsibility, what is the management's responsibility, matters to be communicated to those charged with governance, complete set of financial statements, working papers, confidentiality of information. Then we have limitation of damages, independence, indemnification, fees, invoicing, and governing laws, jurisdiction and disputes related para, and anti-money laundering and prevention of corruptions. So we have tried to cover each and every part in this engagement letter, which we are referring as agreement. So we have agreement clause, also entire agreement, end use agreement, termination of agreement. So all these are, and for listed entity, for limited review, its term of resignation is also being given. So we have tried to incorporate all the important parameters, all the set criteria which should be covered in an engagement letter. So in scope of work, we can see that for form number 3CA, we have tried to give the reference of Income Tax Act, and all are covered comprehensively. We are also giving reference of standards on auditing in auditor's responsibility part. And you can see that all those details which we have filled in the main sheet and Excel sheet are being already updated in the template, right? So this way it will be generated, and the fee like we have inserted in the Excel sheet, the fee is also over here. And at the end, your firm name is already there, signing partner's name is also there, and we need to have acknowledgement from the client 1. So they will fill the date and they will be getting it completed, and they will be sending the acknowledgement to us. Now, this is the EL generated. If we refer our EL template, so you can see, as I told you, there are some part. One second, let me zoom it. You can see some of the part is highlighted in pink color, some is in green. So it's as per variable, and we have taken care of the fields. And so please ensure that you are not disturbing this, you are not modifying these highlighted versions, because these are very, very important for generation of EL. And for template, after generation of EL, you can customize it as per your requirement. Suppose in the case of unlisted with IFC or with, if Caro is not applicable, you can remove that parameter. You can customize it as per your own requirement. But please ensure that templates highlighted version is not being disturbed and not modified. So you can see that the data which we have filled in the Excel sheet are interlinked with the highlighted field like date, to whom we are writing, entity name, address line 1, 2, city, state, dear sir, madam, or whatever name we want to give, that name will also appear, entity name, and these are the highlighted fields. So when you will be filling the Excel sheet, these details will be interrelated to this engagement letter template. We have tried to cover each and every part comprehensively, like for working papers, if it is required, for confidentiality of information or for independence. We have tried to cover each and every part comprehensively so that members can comply with the requirements of complying with standards on auditing or legal compliances in very short duration of time. With single click, they can generate ELs and they can comply with the peer review process. Then documentation can also be completed. So it's very easy and in very less time they can do it. So if we for individual, in the main sheet, members are required to write members name and membership number, right? So if we go to listed company, here fields are much more. So date of signing of engagement letter and appointment letter date is common for all. Client name is common for all. Address line 1, 2 and city, state is also again common. For salutation, you can write sir, madam or whatever name you want to. Fees is also common, name of signing engagement letter. So this part is common for tax audit form number 3CA and for listed company. But when we move forward in next column, for listed entity, unlisted with IFC or without IFC, it is very important to mention the reference of appointed from annual general meeting number. And it will automatically be reflected in the engagement letter. Whatever number we are mentioning, years we are mentioning. Let me generate one for this. Okay. So appointed from AGM number. So we can write, suppose the auditor is appointed in 4th annual general meeting. So we can simply write, and generally duration is for 5 years. So we have automatically, it's coming as 9, but you can simply modify it as per your requirement. Maybe its appointment is for 3 years. So we can write here 7, right? And EGM held on date. Suppose I'm writing date should be on or before the date of appointment, right? Because appointment is done in the AGM. Or audit period beginning from audit period ending on, since I have filled for 3 years, sorry, half year ending. Here we need not to write the year. If it is appointment, you can fill appointment or otherwise reappointment. So here in listed entity, whether it is standalone simply financial statements or if it is consolidated financial statement, so we need to click on the drop down whether consolidated applicable or not. So either we can write yes or no. So I have clicked on yes. And for consolidation, we need to give whether it is subsidiary, associates or jointly controlled entity or joint venture. So we have filled the details. Main sheet we have already filled, right? So I'm clicking on generate EL. and EL is generated in the folder. So you can see we have another folder, namely listed entity, listed company, where EL is generated. Listed for 23-24, you can see May 23 is the date. BOD, because for listed it is same. 1 second. Right. Hopefully it's visible. So now we have statutory audit of client 2 for the financial year beginning April 1st, 2023 and ending on 31st, since we have filled 3 years detail, and it also covered limited review part also. And you see here, it's automatically reflecting 3 years of commencing from the conclusion of 4th AGM. We have filled 4th AGM until 7th AGM. So that data is also being filled over here, and years are also coming. Scope of work, it's covered in detail. Again, the auditor's responsibility. Here in listed entity, we have also inserted para on nuclear, because if it is for 250 crore and above, so then nuclear will also be applicable. So we have tried to cover that part also in it. And then using the work of auditors, expert para is also given over here, that in specific circumstances when we need to have specialized knowledge from the expertise beyond accounting or auditing, because we are considered expert in accounting or auditing. So beyond, if we are using experts for that, so expert will be appointed by us, will work under our direction and supervision, and we will remain responsible as given in SS 620. So it's interlinked with that also. Then we have covered audit of IFC with reference to standalone financial statement and consolidated financial statement. If I would have chosen that consolidated is not applicable, then it would have been simply financial statements. Standalone word will not be used. But since it is consolidated financial statements, so group here established by the company, group considering essential component of internal control. Otherwise, it would have been only company in place of company or group. And then for subsidiary also, the part will be in detail. So it's covered comprehensively, and limit review part also we have tried to cover. Each and every important part we have tried to cover in this engagement letter template. Of course, you can modify as per your requirement. SRE 2410 is also being complied with. LODR regulation 33. That part also we have covered, regulation 33 and 52. And if it is only 52 for equity listed or debt listed, and if it is for both part, that part also we have tried to cover comprehensively. So you can see we have filled the details subsidiary. So that part is also being reflected in the engagement letter template. Fine. So other details, like we have tried to cover this Companies Act reporting requirement part also, which is very, very important to be covered in engagement letter. What are the terms of references? What are the other criteria which should be communicated to the client? So matter to be communicated to those charged with governance. What are the expectations from the management? All those parts we have tried to cover in this engagement letter template. You please, members, go through it. And if you have any feedback, any suggestions, you can definitely write to us on caq@icai.in. And CAQ is coming out with such kind of initiatives, tools and utilities, and some of the publication for ease of the member, so that member can maximum comply with the maximum optimize their and comply with the regulatory requirements, legal compliances, standard compliances with less time actually. So we are trying to cover. So for that also, you please follow us on CAQ Twitter handle, so that you can get updates what we are what next we are doing. Because so fees, you can see that it's already being covered. We have also tried to cover direct out of pocket expenses for invoicing also. So you can modify it as per your requirement, like we are giving interest part. So if you want, you can insert as per your like your firm's policies and procedures. You can update it, you can customize it. Again, this terms of resignation, it's in accordance with LODR. So whatever terms of resignation, that if the auditor resign within 45 days from the end of the quarter of the financial year, then he need to issue the report for such quarter. If it is 45 days from the end of the quarter of financial year, then what will be the reporting requirements after resignation? That part also being covered. If the auditor is continuing for 3 quarters, so that also, then so he need to give audit report for whole financial year. So all those parts we have tried to cover comprehensively. So please, it's a humble request, you go through it carefully, and if you have any other feedback, if you have any suggestion, you can reach to us on caq@ici.in. Though we have tried to cover it comprehensively, we have tried to simplify it, streamline the process of generating engagement letter, so that you can simply create the engagement letter. And for the ease of the member, we have created it for 3, like individual, partnership firm, then proprietorship firm, LLPs are also we are trying to cover. And customization feature is of course available for you, but please don't modify the template. You can modify the generated engagement letter that is in your EL folder. You can customize that. You can print it on your letterhead, right, to make it more effective. So for that, but please, it's a humble request again and again, don't modify the templates, because otherwise it will create problem. And if the Word file is open, then also engagement letter generation will show some errors. So it will not only help you in, I already told you that you can generate multiple engagement letters, maybe 50, 100 with a single click, and your database, your assurance client audit details are also being maintained. So your documentation is also complying with. So please, for peer review process also, it is very, very helpful to you. For in compliance with SA 210, in legal compliances also, it will be very, very helpful for you. So with the vision that you ensure maximum compliance for engagement letter, maximum compliances with statutory requirements for standards on auditing, you with less time, we are trying to come out with tools and utilities. So please, you use all those tools and utilities, like utility for determining materiality, utility for bank branch audit, review and monitoring tool on standards on auditing compliances. It's very easy to comply, and you can track the details. It will be very, very helpful for you. And it will serve the documentation purpose also. As President Sir told, without audit documentation, we can say audit is not being done. So for complying with that, it is very, very important. I think I have tried to cover almost all with this. I think I would like to thank you. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to present on utility on engagement letter and to work with you and under the guidance of yours and Shri Priya ma'am. The team, we were able to come out with these tools, utilities and publications. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Karuna. So just like to brief the members, like it has been discussed for this engagement letter utility, that there are a lot of advantages for using this utility. Definitely, it has been designed to simplify and streamline the whole process. And you can, on a single click, generate multiple engagement letters. And also, you need not overwrite any line item. You can add rows to it. And therefore, this utility, this Excel file, it also facilitates maintenance of a centralized database of your assurance clients, and which can help you in the peer review process. And some important aspects the madam has covered in detail. I would just like to say that changes to the file, two part I would break in. That one is with where there are changes at the firm level. For all the engagement letters that would be you want to generate, and if you want to make any change, like one example, what was mentioned about the credit period and charging of interest. Now, if you want to make that changes across all the engagement letters, then you may make those changes in the template itself. But when you are making changes to the template, please ensure that you do not make any change or any editing to the highlighted fields, which are the pink and green color. Other than that, whatever text are there, you can as a standard format. Like I'm just giving an example of a letterhead. Now, if at a firm level, practice unit level, you want to insert a letterhead, which would get printed for all the engagement letters, the inbuilt letterhead in the Word file, then you can in the template insert your letterhead as the header and as the footer. and save that, so that once you click the button and generate the ELs, all the ELs would be generated with the letter. But in case you want to make changes to any individual engagement letter or for a particular client, then please do not make any changes to the template. Please make changes to the Word file that is generated after the engagement letter generation command is run. The next thing I would like to share, another important thing, is that in case, so you have seen that year-wise folders would get created automatically. So you have 23, 24, 24, 25, 25, 26. And within those folders, so you don't have to create any folder. Once you fill in the data in the Excel file, these are all program macros enabled commands which are there. So once you give the command of generate EL, then it will see for which financial year it is there from the master sheet. And then it will also pick up from the respective sheets, whether it is a 3CA, 3CB, unlisted with IFC, without IFC, or a listed entity, and then create those subfolders within the financial year folder. And ELs would be generated. The name of the EL is also auto-populated with respect to the file, the year, and the type of the engagement and the client name, the first 10 characters of the client name. Now, if you have already generated an EL, let us say you have sent to the client and there are some corrections that are to be made to that, you need not create a new record. You can overwrite that particular record in the Excel file, select only that EL and generate EL. Once you generate that without any changes in the name, if there are no changes in the name, the type of the assignment and the financial year, then the earlier engagement letter would get overwritten in with the new one, and you can print that and send that to the client. So like it was mentioned, this is macros enabled, and our whole objective is that to streamline the process. I hope you would have enjoyed this session. My special thanks to the whole team over here who demonstrated the utilities and the publication, starting with CA Himanshi Garg, Ms. Pratibha Chamoli, CA Nidhi Rajput, and CA Karuna Bansali for taking us through all these tools and utilities and the publications. And finally, I would once again, on behalf of everybody, thank you for participating in large numbers. And with the festive season coming, I would also wish all of you a very happy Diwali and a happy festive season ahead. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Chiraji.